Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, NerdModeOn, and I'm going to be doing the next episode of Battlefield News, a video series where I'll be talking about changes and or events within a particular Battlefield title. So without further ado, let's get started. So of course, for today's video, we're going to be talking about the summer patch. Now this is a very big patch when it comes down to it. Multiple things have been changed in the general improvements, networking, weapon balance, and the list goes on. So of course, we are going to be talking about every single bulletin point in this video. Now of course, if you're not interested in all the bulletin points, later today I will also have a highlighted video talking about some of the general information, so of course keep in mind when it comes down to it, but I will be talking about everything in the video and giving you guys some general impressions and overall just the information by itself. So with that said and done, let's jump right into the general improvements. Fixed a number of known exploits in the game, added the team balancer as a default server option for larger game modes. Now of course this feature should be a highlight, especially when it comes down to it, considering that I know a lot of players have had a huge issue with admins making the servers and balance them as they see accordingly. So hopefully this will resolve the issue and make everybody a little bit happier on the battlefield, but of course spawn trapping is still going to be a thing on a majority of the maps, and that really isn't something that they can fix overnight, so of course considering giving feedback is always going to be some way for them to make improvements, and always every little step towards a better gaming experience is always a positive one when it comes down to it. Now these upcoming changes refer to the combat. They fixed an issue where players were able to spawn on a squad mate under fire, as well as remove suppression active check now only looks at suppression increased as a combat trigger. Now of course with that said, they added the Zavad graveyard shift map, as well as added server presets such as standard, classic, hardcore to the deploy screen. Updated soldier animations to fix an issue where viewing players running backwards would cause leg popping when changing the movement direction slightly between back and left and back and right. DICE also added the ability for all unlocks to be used in unranked servers. This applies to weapons and attachments including all premium weapons. Now taking a look at a specific soldier movement, they slowed down the side to side from 0.4 to 0.35 on soldier sidestepping to make the movement less jerky. Fixed for an issue where pillbox featuring the Zavad and other levels, bipods can now be deployed on window seals of these pillboxes. They have also changed max defaulting spotting distance to 200 meters on the night maps. Fixed an issue where players would randomly take damage and even die from walking on certain staircases or other slanted objects. Fixed an issue where players took damage from vaulting over objects and landed hard incorrectly. This pertains to the PlayStation 3. Various crash fixes based on memory optimization. Now transferring over to a few console specific things, this affects all of the consoles, old and new. Allow players to leave a squad in-game created through the squad join feature. As well as they also added Night Operations Large, Night Operations, and Night Operations Infantry quick match selection for the Zavad Graveyard Shift map. Now transferring over to the networking tab, we're going to be talking about a few things that pertain to the netcode and other related things, especially when it comes down to the network and the overall gameplay about Battlefield 4 when it comes down to the engagements and how everything works out. So starting things off, they updated server stall detection to better trace servers going bad, improved packet loss handling for clients, improved rubber banding handling on client and server side, fixed an issue where the local player's health would be incorrect if they took damage while regenerating health, changed frame history time variable to 1 to prevent dusting on fast-moving objects such as jets. Now what this really means is if you've been somebody in the past and you've taken a lucky RPG shot and then it hits the vehicle but doesn't blow it up, it's called dusting. It's a known term that's been around since Battlefield 3 and probably even before then. Updated server and client code to support variable tick simulation rates. Added indicators for current server tick rate / simulation rate on loading screen and deploy screen. Network status communication suite added HUD indicators to warn for bad mediocre network connections. Now of course this upcoming issue pertains only to PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, so they significantly improved client-to-client damage delay by forcing all clients to send damage based on frame rate instead of simulation rate. So this should be a massive improvement. You should notice a huge difference in gameplay, especially when you are exchanging bullets between yourself and an enemy player, so of course keep that in mind and it should make a pretty big difference by itself. Now transferring over to the audio tab, unfortunately there's only one change that they added, and this is mainly only a feature, and they have enabled audio obstruction. Unfortunately I don't have any additional information on this, but of course I will keep you guys up to date as more information comes out. Now transferring over to the persistence tab, add a dog tag that will track players' knife kills. Fixed an issue where the incorrect numerical value is displayed on the MBT dog tag, showing total medals instead of total ribbons. Fixed kill tracking on missing mastery dog tags, which were added in the previous patch, but progress now reflects overall kills for those weapons. Now, transferring over to the Vehicles tab, it looks like a lot has been changed, especially when it talks about the turrets and a lot of the other weapons and the fleurs and stuff of that associated line. So, of course, we're going to jump right into it and give you guys some general information about what has been changed. These upcoming issues pertain to the vehicle turrets, updated turret logic to allow variable stimulation rates, added vehicle sensitivity slider for all input devices on all platforms, added new input curves for all vehicle turrets in the game, and this fix only pertains to the PC, fixed an issue where turning fast with the mouse would sometimes snap the view in the opposite direction, fixed an issue where free look cameras in vehicles were negatively affected by frame rate dips causing slower than intended movement. Now these upcoming changes affect only the jets, reverted attack jet physics to original set, fixed an issue where mobility hits would cause unsalvageable stalls, fixed an issue where jets would flip upside down in jittery fashion when mobility hit, aircraft interior glass got a pass from the summer patch. Reflection brightness, glass color, and opacity have been unrefined across the board. Reflection brightness has been greatly reduced to improve visibility, fixed an issue where players were unable to cause damage to enemies standing in an open seat in a vehicle with any type of missile, fixed the wake effect of jet skis for night vision, reduced brightness of tank flare/infrared night vision HUD from 2 to 0.45, reduced the bloom scale in vehicles while using the flare, increased PLD infrared night vision range from 300/45 vehicle/soldier to 375 to 100. Really, all that means is that the PLD has its range increased, so you're going to be able to see people at farther distances than you normally would. All vehicles in Zavad Graveyard Shift now have headlights and interior lights. Now, this upcoming change pertains only to the attack helicopter smart rockets. Reduce rate of fire to 200 from 300. Reduce max turning angle from 30 to 10. And as a result of this, tracking will be less powerful against moving targets. Now these upcoming changes pertain only to the mobile anti-air, adjusted overheat ratios to be more balanced between 20 and 30mm. 20mm cannons now have better range, and as a result it is easier to use thanks to faster bullets. 30mm cannons now have more consistent damage thanks to lower spread. Now we're going to be talking about a few things that refer to lock-on missiles, makes countermeasures more effective and more consistent as a due result. Turn rates reduced to stop missiles from doing instant 180s. That is definitely a very good thing considering that the lock-on missiles in Battlefield have been broken for a very long time and they do really weird things. If you guys are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, I'll link a video in the description talking about some of the countermeasures and the effectiveness of each of the countermeasures. Reduce time to activate guidance system in most missiles. Blast radii have been tweaked up to reduce dusting, as well as change damage type from blast damage to impact damage. For example, using infrared smoke in a tank causes a near miss will no longer damage your tank as a result of the missile missing. DICE has also adjusted the Hydra rockets, Smart rockets, and Zuni rockets so that they now properly damage walls. This is definitely a very welcome change. It might be very minor, but there's a lot of times where the missiles just wouldn't break walls, and it was the most frustrating thing that I've ever had to deal with, especially for being a pilot when your job is to navigate around the map and blow up obstacles that your team need to be destroyed. And last but not least, talking about a few changes that affect the PlayStation 4. Fixed an issue where reinstalling the game caused corrupt vehicle customization. And last but not least, talking about the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. Fixed an issue where vehicle customization would revert to default after reformatting the PlayStation 3/PlayStation 4. Now, transferring over to the Weapons tab, fixed a long-time issue where infantry weapons failed to reload properly. This is also noted as the reload bug. I'm sure many of you guys have become very acquainted with this bug, considering that it happens randomly and always at the worst possible time. Decreased tracer frequency for all fully automatic weapons from every 1 bullet to every 3 bullets shot. Now, the upcoming changes that we're about to talk about are in reference to the flashbangs. Effective angle is now 145 degrees. Flash duration reduced for friendlies to 0.6 seconds. No longer blinds dead people. Increase the suppression effect from flashbang explosions. Reduce number of default flashbangs from 3 to 2. Updated effect to work exactly the same in dark and light environments. Shielded players in vehicles, such as a tank driver, no longer get blinded. However, if you're in an open vehicle seat, you will, however, still get blinded by the flashbang. Now this is in reference to like the jet skis per se. Reduced time it takes for the grenade to go live from 10 seconds to 1.5 seconds. This prevents players from dropping flashbangs from tall buildings at enemies below. And last but not least, improved target line of sight obstruction testing. I believe this is in reference to that if a flashbang goes off, it doesn't go off through a wall or something else. So of course I will keep you guys up to date if more additional information comes out about this, but I believe this is what it's in reference to. Now transferring over to a few adjustments to the TV missiles. Soldier damage multiplier is now 0.3 up from 0.1. This allows TV missiles to kill soldiers without the flak field upgrade outside of road kills. Blast radius increased from 1.5 meters to 3 meters. Improve responsiveness and steering slightly. And last but not least, fixed an issue where players could get stuck in midair while exiting the attack helicopter and attack boats after firing a TV missile. DICE also increased SRA range and top speed slightly. Fixed an issue which would cause blue flashes when a player fires anti-tank weapons at a bright white source, also known as the sun. Not quite sure why players are shooting at the sun in the first place, but nonetheless I guess people have interesting habits and are interested in different things. Tweaked and improved visibility on the night vision optics at night. Fixed an issue where the HUD on the UCAV would blink intermittently. Tracer polish, lowered brightness, thickness, and length. Reintroduced the AN-94 bipod, it will be unlocked by default. Removed extended barrels while using heavy barrel on PDWs. This directly affects the MX4, the P90, the UMP45, and the UMP9. Added blinking red lights to the M15 AT mines to increase visibility on night maps. Renamed all the mentions for the RPK-74M to RPK, and renamed the L96A1 to the L115. Fixed an animation issue with the mirror's leg in third person, as well as added a heavy barrel option which will lower the spread from 0.2 to 0.1 on the mirror's leg. This pertains primarily to the M26 Dart. Increased pellet count to 19 from 12 to bring in line with the M26 mass. Decreased headshot multiplier for revolvers, slugs, Desert Eagle from 2.35 to 2.13. As a result of this change, this prevents pump action slugs from being able to one-kill infantry at infinite range and keeps the mare's leg one-hit headshot at range below 40 meters. This issue pertains to the L86, reduced horizontal recoil from .185 left pole as well as a right pole of .185, and now it's to .16 as well as a right pole of .16 as well. So minor adjustments there, but might be noticeable depending on the engagements. It is also worth noting that some of the weapons have had some zeroing fixes. These weapons would include the CS5, the ASVAL, the Groza 4, and the AK-5C. Head glitch fix. Unfortunately, there's no additional information here, but I imagine they kind of cleaned up some of the hitboxes and gave some general information, especially when it comes down to the map design. So of course, and once more information does come out, I will keep you guys up to date, but as of the moment, there's really no additional information for this specific topic. Added fix on all 4 M26 variants. Basically, all this does is bullets spawn closer to the barrel instead of just magically coming out of different locations, so it's more consistent and it's more mimicking the real-life version. And last but not least, they added a new JDAM explosion effect. Now transferring over to the game modes, Gunmaster fixes. Fixed an issue where the tension music remains after the user that reached last level quits the session. Fixed an issue where stats wouldn't get tracked properly. Fixed an issue where using gun emplacements would cause a server crash. Added live scoreboard functionality, and last but not least, updated Gunmaster to display infinite magazines in the HUD. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about a very few amount of things that have been adjusted in the maps for Battlefield 4. Zavad Graveyard Shift. Enabled ladders for all game modes except Defuse and Gunmaster. Zavad 311. Fixed an exploit where players could leave the game world. Enabled ladders for all game modes except Defuse and Gunmaster. Operation Whiteout. Optimized memory usage. Operation Locker. This is only specific to the Xbox 360, but they optimize memory usage. And finally, Gold Mud Railway, fixed pink I-beam on the collapsible building. But anyway guys, that's really all the information when it comes down to the adjustments and the alterations for the summer patch for Battlefield 4. So of course, if you guys would like to read everything for yourself and check some additional information, feel free to check the description of the video, considering that I will have the article linked down there for your viewing pleasure. But anyway guys, this has been NMO, and I'm going to be signing out guys. Peace.